Well, Ron, first off, let's talk about the decision to run again and seek another term, and what kind of led to that, and why did you decide to go ahead and try this again?
One reason was when I come into office, I was put on the airport board on and started the remodel of the airport, and it's been being worked on for 40 years, and we let the EA out last on the 14th. So we're getting to the end. I would like to, keep working on that. I see that as a major improvement for the valley and the economy, because without a good airport, as the figures show, it really hurts the economy without one. And I'd like to get back in compliance with the FAA since we're out. And they are looking at releasing some maintenance, which they cut off from us 6-7 years ago. Also on the road department to bring, I worked for 13 years as a road contractor, and I have the new ideas of efficiencies and stuff that we've already implemented. Everybody knows that we've had some reduction in force. From the first year I was brought in, we did around 5,000 tons of gravel. Last year, with the reduction of force, we did 37,000 yards of gravel and 4 miles of paving. I'm trying to, we have a new superintendent and stuff, and kind of working with them. I don't want to micromanage like people say we do, but I like to give him new ideas to look at, because we get into this looking inside a box and we don't look outside, and sometimes just somebody's comment or a new idea will spark something that makes it more efficient for the citizens. Kind of like our budget. When we came in, a week before we came in, the ones that were voted out voted to spend $280,000 out of the budget, which really put the budget in arrear. We were over $800,000 difference between what was being asked for expenses and the money that we were going to receive. So that was the first year I was in, and of course that led to the reduction of force to get the county back at what the economy could afford to pay. In that time, I've been in 3 budgets now. We're just starting our 4th, and we've saved around $1.5 million of cash that we have used to help pick up our reserves from 5% to 16.1%, I was told yesterday. A lot of this litigation that's went on has been paid by those savings. So I was one that did not vote for the increased property tax yesterday on the settlement. I thought that we could come up with a way to save 2.8% of the budget a year to pay for that. And of course it would make it tighter, but everybody else in the private sector and in everything going on is having to tighten up, and it only looks to us like you either tighten up because you look forward ahead enough, or you have to tighten up because you have no choice.
I know when you guys came in, especially you were talking a lot about efficiencies and budget, and we had those conversations many times that, if you're not fiscally sound, you're really playing with fire. And do you feel that that's been one of the accomplishments to try to rebuild those reserves and try to get this as run more like a business?
Yeah, I do. And before I was elected, a lot of equipment and vehicles were done by loans. This year, the sheriff paid cash for his cars. I think that's a great accomplishment. I also think that's very fiscally sound. It also gives a benefit to the sheriff's department to shop. I mean, anybody knows if you have cash to buy or you have to go borrow money, you have a great advantage for having cash. So I think that is a great accomplishment. I think that we are one of the counties that is really fiscally sound. What our CFO said after our last budget last year was, this is the best budget she's ever seen since she's been here hired as a CFO. I thought that was a great accomplishment.
When you look at the last, especially last year, last month, there's been, a share of controversy, seems like a few more. How do you feel just generally that you've been able to handle those things and try to work through some difficult situations?
Well, I kind of try not to take stuff personally. We get a lot of attacks being in this office, and people say it shouldn't be political, but when you run for office, it's political. And anytime your opponents can throw something to try to get it stuck on you, they're going to keep it up. I just don't get wrapped into that stuff. I figure this is a job that needs to be done, and done efficiently and right, and serve the citizens. I believe that service to the citizen is the biggest deal about being in this job.
What, as you look ahead for another term, is there perhaps one idea, Ron, or something you talked about thinking about outside of the box? Is there one idea that you maybe like to try or implement if you get in here for a second term?
You know, nothing off the top of my head, because there's always stuff that comes up you don't think about. But one thing that I have been working on, we rewrote, rough estimate about 20 policies that were never looked at before. They either didn't fit what was going on, or it didn't fit state statute. And there's still quite a few that can be looked at. So as soon as I have time, I'll be looking into that. We just re-looked at our surplus policy, our fiscal policy. Me and Susie are the ones that sat down with the CFO and wrote the fiscal policy for the budget, and it also lays out all the state dates that we have to make that until we come in nobody really knew about. And I think that's a way to make yourself accountable. And I think we've been very transparent. I mean, we get hit because people don't like what we agreed to do, but I don't know how we haven't been transparent when we have the news media here pretty much 24 when we're doing anything. So I don't know how we would ever do anything that wasn't transparent.